Yellow tape wasn't enough, a sign wasn't enough, now they have to put netting on it as well. One observation I had today though in terms of traffic, it actually seems pretty normal before all this quarantine stuff and so forth. Makes me wonder what's going on. Did everyone just say, for example, oh, they did their 14 days or whatever and it's done? Because to my knowledge, all the businesses and stuff still have all those restrictions. All the news today seems to be all over the place. I guess the first one was kind of interesting is how in Canada, for certain people, they're going to introduce some emergency funds for the unemployed, for example, to help them during this time. This one here says from the Canada Revenue Agency, applications to the Canada Emergency Response Benefit are opening soon. To make sure we can help you quickly, we're asking you to apply on different weekdays depending on your birth month. So you can see basically the picture they have here says, if you were born in January, February, or March, apply on Mondays. If you were born in April, May, or June, apply on Tuesdays, etc., etc. Sounds like something right out of school in terms of playing like some kind of game or something like that. Although with this thing, I'm still a little bit confused about it because they said if you have EI and so forth, then you can apply for the EI benefits. It'll be the same thing. Whereas if you're, like, say, a self-employed person, you have lost all work, then apply for this as well. But then some people are arguing with like all these petitions and stuff online saying they don't qualify. For example, I guess from what I've seen, there's some people trying to start things like home food delivery services, I guess, during this time and so forth. Or at the same time, people doing their consulting work or whatever from home. So technically, if you make even $1 or 1 penny, according to all these petitions and stuff, you don't qualify for it. So that's a little confusing. I know with businesses having to close down, people working from home, trying to figure out ways to teach kids, I guess, through online means. Apparently a lot of people have been using this video conferencing software called Zoom. But there's an issue, as it turns out, where it's big enough for the FBI to give a warning. It says, FBI warns of teleconferencing and online classroom hijacking during COVID-19 pandemic. A large number of people turn to video teleconferencing platforms to stay connected in wake of the COVID-19 crisis. Reports of VTC hijacking, also called Zoom bombing, are emerging nationwide. The FBI has been receiving multiple reports of conferences being disrupted by pornographic and/or hate images and threatening language. I guess the example that has been floating around was it seemed like there was some kind of, I guess, school or something doing a lecture, and all of a sudden while the guy's doing his speech, you see a picture of the male body part, being drawn on the screen, and then a really derogatory and racist word. So I guess that will be an issue for the time being, especially when people have nothing better to do, huh? And reading this at first I was confused because it sounded like a story that I read before, but it was titled, I guess, in a different way now. It says, drone flies to the rescue in the first coronavirus food and drugs delivery. The world's first drone delivery service will be launched next week to carry medicine and food to people forced to self-isolate because of the coronavirus. Essential items will be transported by air to the customer's front door as part of a trial project designed to show how autonomous drones can be used to beat the COVID-19 lockdown. The project will be launched in the village of Moneygall in Ireland using a drone built by South Wales. As mentioned, this whole situation seems like it could be a catalyst for people like in the drone industry to basically get this stuff approved, because even in the US, I guess there's more pressure for them to lax down the laws. This one says, FAA under pressure to expand drone deliveries to combat spread of coronavirus. The coronavirus has prompted calls for the Federal Aviation Administration to expand its rules for drones delivering packages to help limit person-to-person contact and slow the spread of the virus in the United States. And they're really hammering them down, it seems. It says here, quote, there's a lot of pressure happening right now from the drone advocacy groups as we speak. They are telling the FAA to get moving on authorizing these drones to be used for various purposes. The FAA said it had received inquiries to expand drone operations to combat the coronavirus sweeping the nation, which has infected hundreds of thousands and killed thousands. And on that note, with regulations, it will say how even companies like Amazon haven't been doing it in the US, I guess just because of the regulations, where instead they've been testing it in the UK. So that'll be kind of an interesting amount of pressure, I guess, to see whether or not regulators and all that will relax in the law so people could use drones. Makes me think how this will play with things like those remote ID stuff, if you guys remember that. Not too long ago, that was like a big issue with the drones. Will they actually say, okay, let's scrap this for now and just do your stuff? Or no, would they actually promote stuff like that even further, like remote ID saying, we need this to approve you for the drone deliveries, even though by the looks of it from the rest of the world, they're basically trying this without some kind of, I guess, standard, like with those remote IDs and all that. As I mentioned too, it's crazy how one event can change people's perspective on a piece of tech. Interesting how there's still some food businesses that are actually open while the rest of them are closed. Alright, see you guys later.